Hey everyone, just going to run you through the entirety of today's workout, and sometimes I just show you highlights from the training sessions, and sometimes I'll just show you the entire training session. So you're going to see every working set that I did today. It took me about an hour and 45 minutes to knock this out, which is at least 15 minutes longer than what I was expecting to take. So I need to be a little bit more on top of my rest time. Today called for 10 sets of 3 reps at 345 pounds on the squat, followed up by 5 sets of 2 at 405 on the deadlift, and the squat is around 80% or something of my second attempt. So I would really like to make 425 my opener at IPL Worlds, and then maybe go up to 450 and then see really how it goes from there. It's kind of hard to make accurate estimations right now this early on in preparation, so I've been doing meet prep now for about 5 to 6 weeks maybe, not counting the week of before my feeler meet out there at Long Beach. I think it'd be about 5 weeks now. And so going into IPL Worlds, I'm looking for that 1,400 pound total, and part of that is just refining my technique, because a failure in your technique is going to seriously limit how much weight you can move. And you can do a small adjustment and add 20 pounds to a movement, and all it comes down to is refining your technique. And sometimes that refinement takes 10 sets to do, to find that perfect foot position, to find exactly what's working for you. And so as you get stronger, you're likely going to find that moving a certain way is not working anymore. So that was the case with my sumo deadlift and my conventional deadlift. They like to leapfrog, and I'm sort of in the process of writing a grueling deadlift article, but I keep going back over it many times, and I touch on that topic of, as you get stronger, you're going to have to adjust the way that you train, not just your program, but also the way that you perform your movements, and if you even continue doing those same movements. And with the squat, I'm moving my stance out, and you can see there it's just outside shoulder width. I was squatting with a narrow stance for a while. I went to Afghanistan, went back wide, had some hip troubles going on for a little bit, so I went back narrow to continue being able to squat, and now I'm back wide again. And you know, it's working out, and the thing is with all these adjustments, you just have to find where your feet should be. And another thing that I've been thinking about is keeping my chest up and trying to squat in a more straight up and down manner. And a guy by the name of Greg Nuckols, he's got a lot of really good articles about squatting. He's like the squat aficionado, and so I'll be linking some of those articles. He actually just had one that was published today talking about how your hamstrings can act as a knee extender. So that's pretty interesting. And likewise with your quads acting as something that affects your hip extension, and it kind of goes backwards to what is commonly thrown around in biomechanics, but it's interesting stuff and makes sense when you read it. So I'll link those 2 articles down in the doobly-doo, so to speak, and hopefully you'll learn something. It's definitely helping me out with my squatting. This here is the last set, and you can see across all these 10 sets, the speed is relatively the same. The form is, you know, sometimes I have good reps, sometimes I have bad reps, but I think this last set right here was actually my best one. The speed was good, both on the eccentric and the concentric phase of the lift, and I'm keeping my chest up, so that's about 80% of 425, I think, and all in all, 30 total repetitions. They look pretty good. And here I go to the deadlifts. This, I was just drained by the time I got to the deadlifts, and so I think really this kind of tacked on an amount of time that it should not have taken. I was just dreading doing these. It's only 405, so it's significantly less than what I would be pulling in competition. But because I'm so taxed after the squats, I'm not going to overload these too heavy, just get something that I could practice my technique in. And as you know, historically, I've been a sumo puller. I've now been pulling conventional for the better part of a year has been my conventional pulling focus. And so with that, I'm still refining my hip position. You'll see on a lot of these, I start with my hips too low, they raise up, and then they get to that position to where I can actually start breaking the bar off the floor. I need to get better at just starting in that position to begin with. A low hip position is not a bad thing, but it's bad if you can't hold that position. It just shows that you're weak in that position. So I need to get stronger there, be able to keep my chest up a little bit more, use my quads to break off the floor, because I have noticed that as the bar gets heavier, I have way more chest collapse, and I do that round back pulling, which is great for some people, but it's not so great for the lockout, and that is where my weakness is. So thanks for watching.